A short while ago, I introduced the Divitone MF Studio and showed how this one guitar could be your whole beginner rig. But what if you've been putting in your chops and crossed that beginner phase where you're going to be gigging and serving live at a Sunday service? Can this MF Studio scale with you and be your main guitar without the smart system? I used the MF Studio at 2 major worship events, clocking in a lot of time from practicing at home to using it live with a band. Here's how that went down. The Divitone MF Studio is a smart guitar with onboard amp sim and effects, with the massive advantage of being able to load neural amp modular profiles for amazing tones at an affordable price. I personally think that due to the guitar's ergonomics, fit and finish, decent pickups, I'd be very happy to take it out and gig with it. I finally had the opportunity to put my money where my mouth is. So the clips you're going to see are live footage of me using the MF Studio at worship events. I was running the guitar into my quad Cortex setup with the intention of using the MF Studio smart system in case something went wrong with the main rig. Let me just interject here. This was a missed opportunity. The worship event with the seniors ministry was the perfect place to showcase running the guitar with the smart system. For context, the event was a seminar that ran into the evening while we were called to lead worship to kick off the afternoon slot. We had to remove all our gear as we were exiting the platform, so I had the guitar in one hand and the quad Cortex pedal board in the other. It would have been 10 times easier and faster if I only had one guitar to set up and rapid tear down. Note to self, find out if rapid exfil is required for the next worship event. confession time, I wanted to use the MF Studio for my church anniversary, but I broke the high E string during practice. I didn't have time to change the strings that weekend, so I swapped the guitar out, and that footage will be in my upcoming Quad Cortex 3-month review video. Be sure to subscribe to catch that video when it drops. So here's the part of the video where I tell you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you. I think the pickups and the sustain on the guitar are impressive for its price. You can hear every note ringing clearly, notes respond to finger dynamics well, and I'm not being impeded by the guitar. That being said, I do have some qualms, one being an easy fix, the other, not so. Firstly, the strings that come with the MF Studio aren't the best quality. I have a very light touch due to my wrist injuries, and aside from the occasional shred, I don't dig into the guitar strings very hard. By the middle of the rehearsal in church, the high E string snapped. This is a very easy fix, just use any other strings and I'm sure it'll be fine. Secondly, and more problematically, the input jack position is weird. I couldn't use an A-frame guitar stand because the guitar would press down on the wireless transmitter when plugged in, so I had to plug it out whenever I placed it on the stand. The solution is to either use a hanging guitar stand or to use a right angle cable which will provide the clearance necessary to prevent the guitar from resting on anything that's plugged into the input jack. So can a $400 guitar become something I'd gig with regularly? After what I've been through, I have to give a hearty yes. It's 2025 and price is no longer an indicator as to the quality of an instrument. You really have to try it out in person because I'm sure the spec sheet of this guitar isn't going to be a significant draw factor. But that's me. What about you? Hearing this guitar in action, would you pick it up and play it regularly? Can you see this as your main guitar? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see the smart system in action, I go through in detail how this guitar can sound like with NAMM profiles loaded. See you there.